we please have a round of applause for these speakers? And to moderate this session, we have Mr. Puneet Agarwal, who is the founder and CEO at AI LifeBOT.
Check. Sure. Thank you so much, Priyanshi, and very warm welcome to everyone once again in Digital Innovation Conclave. On behalf of NASSCOM, I would like to thank all the panelists here from the various technology verticals, from pharma, from healthcare, and also from insurance, as well as media as well. So over the last decade, if you look at all of us as a technology and business leaders, we have been driving automation across, whether it is implementing the ERP systems, digitization of processes, or business intelligence, or even RPAs, or at the most, we have done the human-assisted or AI-assisted human decision-making, which is bots. But today we are standing at a much more important inflection point, which is we are not asking how AI can assist human. The question is how the AI can take decision its own, how we can make governance behind that, how we can drive the governance behind the autonomy. So it's a very important point, and that is where the question is not that how AI can assist human or make more productive or maybe more successful. Rather, how we can allow AI to take decisions with or without human, even that. So it's very important reflection point, and that is where the three important decision making which organizations have to take today. One is moving focus from process efficiency or maybe to the process owners to the governance, or whether it is human in loop or human on the loop. So it's very, very important points. That is where we are sitting, and that requires not just the tools. So today we're not going to talk about the tools or the technology or the models. We are going to talk about the adoption of the governance behind that. So the objective of this particular panel discussion is how organizations can be can have more autonomy behind the operations, and that is where the Agentic AI Mindshift is very, very important. So with that, I would like to start the conversation with our esteemed panelist, and I'll start with Mr. Vikram from the insurance perspective. So Mr. Vikram, as you know that insurance is a very governance-driven, empathetic, and also it's very, very sensitive vertical. So which processes do you feel in the customer journey or even the claims, for the claims perspective also, like which are the processes you feel are important or maybe ready from the autonomous decision making?
First of all, glad to share the dais with my fellow members here, and thanks for the opportunity. So before getting there, right, so I want to tell how the way that I look about the automation and autonomy, right? So in automation, your focus is on a step, right? So you have a siloed process where you have improved efficiencies. Like if you don't get bill in time, send trigger an email, right? That's your automation, right? There's no problem with that. We have all enjoyed the benefits of it in the last decade. Now, autonomy is your, the focus on the outcomes itself, right? The entire journey, the outcome journey is what the autonomy system concentrates on, right? For example, if I say claims processing is my outcome, right? While doing the claims processing, if it gets suspended at one place, right? So the autonomy system has to go look at why it was suspended because of data issues or data from the provider or the customer issues, right? It has to do multi-level steps and take the decision. Right? So that's where the autonomy comes in. Now, within the health space, right? So what are the things that are ready for the autonomous systems, right? So I would like to, talk about a framework that I typically use, that can be used across other domains as well, right? It's basically a four-dimension framework, right? So it's a simple to use four-dimension framework. So on the first dimension, you have the harm potential, right? That means how impactful is this application on your end customers from low to high, right? And the second one is your rule maturity, right? So how much mature are you with your business process, with your rules that you can feed into this system, right? These rules can be your industry standard rules or your secret sauce of your respective organization, right? And the third dimension is your data maturity, right? How structured is your data that you can feed into this autonomous system? And the fourth dimension, very important one, is regulatory exposure, right? How much exposure will you have by making this system autonomous, right? On these four dimensions, right? So what will be an ideal state to start, right? So look at applications which are, at low harm potential, right? And where you have, high rule maturity, high data maturity, and low on your regulatory exposure, right? Look at these systems that you can start, getting into the autonomous mode. Within the health space, right? So from what I'm saying, there are quite a few areas where you can get into the autonomous mode, like your explanation of benefits, right? In the context of your product that's available in the system, right? Explanation of your claims, right? So why did my claim get, rejected, right? And you can even have the provider searches, right? So find a provider near me, schedule an appointment with that provider, and reschedule that appointment, when something does not work out. All these are very good candidates for your autonomous systems, right? Even in the claims processing, right? So claims intake, deduplication of the claims, right? Claims processing, all these are very good candidates for your autonomous system. In this context, I also want to say where we are not ready yet to get into an autonomous mode are something that impacts the rights of the customers, right? For example, their grievances. When you get a grievance, right, so you cannot put that in an autonomous mode because that impacts your organizational reputation, right? There are few areas where we are not there yet to get into the autonomous mode, but as I explained before, there are quite few areas within the health space where you can get into the autonomous mode.
I think it's a very fair input, and as we are getting ready for the autonomous, I believe these are the areas which we can prioritize, as you just suggested. So I think it's very valuable input. Thank you so much, Vikram. I'll move to the next panelist, Pankaj. From the healthcare perspective, since you are managing the healthcare, which is one of the sensitive, or you can say, very important area from the patient perspective, what do you think that how autonomous decision making can happen in the hospital segment or healthcare segment perspective?
Thank you so much, Puneet, I guess, for making me a part of this panel. It was very well put with, I guess, our domains are very complementing to each other, mine and Vikram's. And he put it very beautifully in terms of how autonomy in terms of, especially in AI, in healthcare, can be achieved or maybe even thought of to start with. There are hardly any autonomous systems as of now, if we speak apart from very few screening systems which are there in healthcare, which are working autonomously, again, more of as systems which feed into the clinical decision making by a human, which is the doctor. Healthcare as such, when we talk about patient care, it is a very high risk domain and very lower, tolerance zone for how things are perceived, how decisions are made, and then the repercussions of it. So achieving autonomy on repetitive tasks, which can be audited, which have low regulatory compliance points, as Vikram mentioned, are some things that the healthcare industry is also looking at it. But in terms of AI systems, especially in patient care, they are more assistive in nature, where you were speaking earlier about human in the loop, right? So more towards that. Autonomy achieving, as I said, repetitive systems which are patient-facing, which are non-clinical in nature, is where autonomy can be achieved definitely. Scheduling and appointments, guiding patients, patient education materials, prepping them for certain procedures. What are the things, again, post-care in terms of how they have to take care once they are discharged from the hospitals. There are certain areas where autonomy definitely can be built at.
Thank you so much. In fact, just to add what Vikram and also Pankaj mentioned, so we are one of the voice first agentic AI platform company. Our brand name is AI LifeBOT. And we have been working with a lot of healthcare providers, hospitals, and also a few insurance companies also, wherein we have been creating some kind of a solutions like you mentioned, the patient care, or maybe, sorry, the appointment booking part, or even the claims rejection part, as you mentioned, right? Or even reminders, for example, your insurance reminders and all. So these are the few systems which are currently we have deployed successfully, and they have been running successfully from last couple of years. I think it is time that we have to now integrate with the very complex decision making to move forward. And I think we are getting to there, but I think it will take some more time. But we'll glad to see.
So to add on to that, I guess one definite point between me and Vikram that you can look at is in terms of how an autonomous system of patient claim process can exist between a hospital and a claim processing agency.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That
One
is
of the
seamless.
important, absolutely. So a lot of patients, including, and I remember we suffer a lot when you go to the hospital and then TPA takes 4 hours, 6 hours, or maybe some time more even to get the claim process approved. I think that is one of the area which can be autonomous because it's
That
simple
will become
process.
autonomous going forward for sure.
Right.
Who does it first is the question.
Correct. Absolutely. So I'll shift the gear and move to the Prasad. He's heading a lot of group companies within Ramoji, and one of the prominent vertical is media. So I would like to understand from Prasad, like having a different vertical altogether, which may not be business critical as like insurance or maybe health, which requires a very very sensitive thing and complexity. How do you think that the automation or agentic AI automation is taking place in your organization or maybe in your verticals? What are the Gen AI use cases which possibly you are currently evaluating and all?
Yeah, thank you for the inviting. As we have around 14 companies in the group. It's from the, as you said, media is there and finance is there, tourism is there. So we have been implemented few of the cases, not few of the cases, 4 of the cases we have implemented for our internal group. It was like one is for the media, it's for related to content. So in the content management system, content analyzer we have implemented. Is a content analyzer means it's related to the, for the editorial team, they would like to gather the information from the past. So suppose last 1 year data is there, last 1 year news items or last 1 year historical items there. So those from there they would like to, suppose today they would like to write one of the story. Initially they would like to capture what are the past and what history is there. So they taken prompt base from there, and it will provide all the information related to what they have given prompt accordingly. And from there they will pick some stories and they will some part of the pieces, whatever maybe, they will prepare the story. For that purpose, what we have developed for the content. And the second one is content. Based on content, we have suggested 3 titles, 3 or 4 titles, to how they would, what title is best suitable for the content. And also for the, in dynamically also we would like to create some titles, that is the secondary case. But here these 3 within 3 titles they can able to capture one thing and they will publish the article. That's one. And within the content also, it's for the digital SEO purpose, digital marketing purpose, SEO purpose. We have given some keywords. Purely ours is Telugu actually, Telugu newspaper. It was converted into the English and pick out the keywords and converted again into the Telugu keywords, mix and because they will take the keywords both mix and match, English as well as Telugu. This has given for the content team, and secondary we have given for the AI ad tool, ad management tool. Here AI ad management tool means it will take the advertisements from the all the advertisers in the system, in the CMS what they have entered. It will dynamically publish the ads within the page where as per the advertiser request. It may be in the front page, page means first landing page or second page or cinema page, wherever it may be. It will publish as per space availability, as per the geolocation, as per the content. So all these parameters will be taken care. And also, suppose same advertiser is given the one place for the same size, it will randomly automatically pick up as per the requirement of the number of CPM they required. That is for the AI tool for the advertisement we have taken in developed in house. And third one is very interesting. It was a year ago it was developed and implemented. It's end-to-end automized system. And here what suppose this is related to the production LMS, production related learning management system. In this production LMS, from the student starting of the entry to the final exam means is subject to answers. They prepare the subject to answers as well as the after so they write the exam in the subject to answers. So our GenAI tool will be automatically correct this subject to answers and provide the score for the student. This was done for the in multi-language. It's 8 Indian languages plus 1 English language. Last year it was used by 70,000 students. And suppose same thing if we implemented the suppose professionals are required to correct the newspapers, for the subject answer papers, it may take around time as well as more professionals are required. But with the help of this GenAI tool, it was completed around 15 minutes for 1,000 papers. That what we have implemented successfully. And so many use cases are there, but we have implemented these cases and testing is going on now. Thank you.
Looks like there's a lot of work around that, and really glad. Looks like a lot of work is being done by your group companies. I think that's really glad to know about that. So I'll shift the gears now and move to the Krishna Sai from the Pharma. He's one of the most sensitive vertical in terms of the regulatory compliances and all. So I would like to understand from you, like from the Pharma perspective, where the rejection is very, very sensitive, and you are governed with a lot of USDA and lot of FDAs and other things are there. So how do you manage, or what kind of agentic AI processes you're following up, and your organization, how the organization Mindshift is happening around that?
Yeah, thanks, Puneet. So, pharma, like what you rightly said, I think the other two can also correlate, is a highly regulated, industry, the manufacturing process, because obviously there's something, an output which is coming in, going inside your body, right? So after it is gone in, you can't say, okay, something has gone wrong, right? So that's why there is a huge regulatory focus in each of the operation what we do. So we generally look at in a way that AI, what we started adopting not only here earlier as well, where whatever action we are performing or whatever activity we are performing, there should be a clear accountability or traceability to that activity, whoever is performing, whatever is happening. It should be 100% traceable to the root of the actual activity. If that is available, then AI or anything can still happen. If that is not there, so that's where I think you also talked about human in the loop will come in. So what we generally see, or what I generally saw is, definitely it works out in like any other industry, IT operations, or even the kind of pharma. We are also, other than the regulatory, we are highly documentation oriented. So we have tons of documents People used to say, if I have to apply for an, let's say FDA submission, there is a truck of documents which are supposed to go to justifying it. So that's the place where we see there is definitely a use case for AI, where it can scan through and give those exceptions, but ultimately the decision, right? Because obviously it is involving a person who is actually taking a decision that, okay, this is a product which is good to go to the market or not so good to the market. So that's where the line will come in, your accountability, where accountability is directly correlated to the person or to an activity. That's where agentic AI might still not be there with respect to pharma. But definitely, yes, it can support all the routine operations, or even, I think, Pankaj was talking about, it can play a role of suggestive. So ultimately, it can populate and then say that, okay, this might be the possible reason, but ultimately there should be a human mind which will come in and judge what is the call which is taken, because he is accountable, answerable when there is an auditability comes in and somebody questions saying, okay, why did you take this decision? I think that's where I would say pharma is.
No, absolutely. I think it's really fantastic to know. In fact, one of the use case we have done for pharma is root cause analysis, which is one of the agentic AI use case what we've implemented recently. And as he mentioned, we are not ready for giving the autonomy right now because a lot of processes is behind that. But yes, we are doing the root cause analysis that why it has got failed and what could have been done in a better manner. That part, at least, we have started doing the autonomy in terms of the processes.
The 5 whys or the kind of analysis what they do to reach to a conclusion is something which the AI can help. But ultimately, the input or decision has to be taken by the person.
Right. So with that, the next question, which is very, very important, and since all four of you are from the IT perspective, you are the heads of the organizations, I would like to understand in terms of what is the change in the KPIs happened, and possibly I'll go one by one. So there are few parameters in the KPI, whether it is autonomy or speed or customer satisfaction or cost, like how this has changed in your organization from your KPIs perspective. So possibly I'll go with Vikram sir from you. Do you?
Sure. So the traditional KPIs, right, if so to speak, right, so they were applicable for the traditional systems because most of the traditional systems are deterministic, right? So your KPIs worked for it. But Gen AI is a predictive system, right? So your traditional KPIs may not be applicable. I'll give you a few examples from the health space standpoint, right? So if you have a Gen AI system, right, it does both decision making and execution. You cannot have a KPI just based on execution. Like if you say, oh, I process my claim in less than 2 seconds, that's great. But 20% of the claims come back to you as grievances, right? So your traditional KPI is not applicable in that sense, right? Also, your traditional KPI will talk about your end-to-end, will not talk about an end-to-end flow, right? Whereas your agentic AI, as I said, it's an outcome-based, right? So it has to take the end-to-end into consideration, right? If you go talk to your teams, right, each team will say that they're following their SLS. But end of the day, if you see how much time you take for your enrollment, you take 2 weeks to do an enrollment processing, like from the time you get an application to the time you get an ID card out, right? So SLS is not even a right metric when you use agentic AI, right? And there are few behaviors that the agentic AI introduces which we did not know earlier. For example, hallucination. Well, like most of us who used agentic AI are familiar with this, right? Hallucination, bias, right? So your system might be 100% up, but your agentic AI might be giving you the bias outcomes, which is again not the right outcome, right? So the traditional KPIs may not always work when you're working with your agentic AI systems. So some of the KPIs that will work, right? For example, your straight through processing, right? So how much percentage of your entire process is your agentic AI able to do it without human intervention within the guardrails, right? That's a straight through processing. And human intervention percentage. Out of all the decisions that agentic AI has taken, how many did the human revert them, right? That's another metric that you can use, right? And the third metric could be your, out of all the decisions that the Agentic AI has taken, how many has come back to you as customer grievances, customer complaints, right? That could be an other important metric, right? You can also use your NPS explicitly for the systems where Agentic AI interacts with the customers, right? You can use NPS also as a score. So these are few things that you can use from the health space when you're operating in the Agentic AI space.
Krishna sir, what do you think? Do you agree?
Yeah, maybe, industry-wise it might
Sorry,
still differ,
since
yeah.
we have last 1 minute,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
possibly go a little faster.
Yeah. So industry-wise, it might differ. So in pharma, yes, it's still the KPIs are more towards authentication, the data around that, rather than the changing fully into the augmented AI or whatever we are talking about, and also around whether like earlier I said, right, whether you are able to audit ready at any point of time. Right? When there's a question asked about this decision, if you are there or not, those are the KPIs. And the general, any industry agnostic KPIs like your predictive maintenances or your quality checks, which those are all the KPIs anyway still be there. Yeah.
Prasad Garu, quickly.
Yeah. In our case, customer experience will be increased, and ad monetization means it's like performance of the ad monetization, revenue optimization of the revenue. This will be.
Pankaj, final words.
Right. So since I am the last and I am standing in between the next session, so the KPIs really, my opinion, have not much changed as such in terms of how AI has affected the KPIs. The expectations are still the same. For our industry, it is important that everything is evidence-based, follow certain guardrails, and is always explainable. Right. So these are certain things which are the guiding principles on which KPIs are based. Traditional IT KPIs are the same, but in terms of how IT is now working with AI is much more in tune with business rather than being a support function. That is what I can say to close this as of now.
Thank you so much. The last question from the audience. When we join the next digital innovation conclave, I would like to leave a thought for all of you that which is the process in your organization where you're going to have the autonomy to be there, where AI can take a decision themselves. So I would like to understand, may not be today, but maybe in the next digital innovation conclave, all of you should be having one of the use cases with you, which we can discuss in the next conclave. With that, thank you so much, all panelists and everyone. Thank you so much for it.
I would request everyone to kindly stay on the stage, and Shantanu from our team would like to felicitate you. By the time, okay. Thank you so much for such insights and instances for sharing with us. That was really helpful, and I hope the audience were able to take the takeaways. Let's have a quick group photo as well. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.